This is Beny-Sur-Mer Canadian War Cemetery. It contains 2,048 burials. 2,044 are Canadians. This one's a bit unique as it has the towers. So this is the view from the towers that I mentioned and that you can see from the entrance. I'll capture just the scale of this place. It's one of the two major Canadian cemeteries in Normandy, with a large number of casualties buried here, the Stone of Remembrance. So some of the Canadians buried here that are better known are known for a very unfortunate reason. A large number of those who were killed by the SS at the Abbey Ardennes are buried here in Beny. Some are buried at Hubbell. There is one, they thought he was British, so he's buried in a British cemetery that I'll also be visiting. And George Pollard, whose body was never found, is commemorated on the Bayeux Memorial. So with this trip I want to document all of the commemorations for them, the individuals. So I will be going and getting pictures of headstones and things like that to tell the story of those who were murdered at the Abbey Ardennes. So this cemetery also has a personal connection for me. The grave of my great-great-uncle, Abraham Dufresne, who died on June 6, 1944. A lot of maple leaves on gravestones as you walk through here. Hard not to get emotional about it. So many Canadian boys who died so far from home. No grave commemorated somewhat. You have the Bayeux Memorial to the missing. There's a few others. I mean, they're not the scale, maybe in the best, worst way, luckily. Like the First World War, right? We have Thiepval and Vimy and Menengates and all these ones that have so many names on them. Luckily for those families, it's not the case of the Second World War. So that's a small comfort, a tiny comfort that the families left behind. So here's something I didn't notice on my first visit to Beny. I gave a presentation on my great-great-uncle to the student tour group I was with. So the rest of the visit is kind of a blur to me. But you can see the beach from here and the actual waves, because today it's so windy that you can actually see the waves cresting. Probably with my lens you can't really see it, but here in person you can. And it's just an interesting thing that I noticed that I hadn't noticed before. Also, something I'd like to point out, and I think this is a very good thing, is I've often heard from other historians, you get to know these battlefields by the structures that stick out, right? And it's often church tower in Europe that helps you identify town as what, right? Like that one, if it can be seen, I don't want to zoom in too much because it just doesn't look great. But that's pretty nice in there with the church tower to the left of that tree. What I've noticed on this trip, and why I think this is a good thing, is construction cranes. Quite a few of them. There's a lot of newish buildings in Courseulles that I don't remember being there when I came here last, which was 2016. Not long ago, but still long enough. So I think it's a great thing that these towns are expanding and booming and doing well. There's a group of Canadians I don't want to forget telling all these stories. It was the Cail office. And this is one of them. W.A. Bennett, who was attached to the Dorset Regiment, died on July 18th, 1944. So another thing I've noticed in my thoughts wandering here, I thought it'd be the only person here the entire time, being in here in early April. Since the time I've been here, it's been quite a while. There's been several families coming through, some individuals carrying papers that usually indicates they're looking for somebody in particular. Others just kind of wandering and looking at the graves. So I'm glad to say I wasn't the only one here, and that other people who are here on April 9th, which is a date known for something else entirely in Canadian military history, are here. Not connected to a ceremony or an anniversary or whatever, just a random weekday at that. To come here these graves. It's great to see. We need to remember what happened here, why they're buried here, and can't let that memory disappear.